Okay, in this video, we're going to go over proportional relationships with complex fractions examples. Okay, so for my very first one, I'm going to move this and then this out of the way some. Okay, I have, if you purchase 5 apples for $2.99, what is the cost per apple? So here we need to write the equivalent ratio, and this is just like we have been before, where we put the y on top of the x. So our y value on top of our x value. So in this case, our unit rate is going to be cost per apple or cost per item, a very common unit rate that you see in the world. So we're going to do 2.99, so $2.99, and we're going to divide that by 5. So in order to do that, we just need to divide to find our unit rate, 2.99 divided by 5. And so my particular unit rate, once I do that division, I'm going to put it here, not necessarily in the box just yet, is 598. So this 8 value is going to kick that 9 all the way back up. So my unit rate, let's do 60 cents. Okay, and on the next one, clear this. Okay, Patty can make 480 chicken nuggets in 8 hours. How many chicken nuggets can she make in 1 hour? So again, let's do our proportional relationship or our unit rate. Our unit rate is going to be chicken nuggets per minute. So 480 is going to go in this box and 8. So to find the unit rate, I simply divide. 480 divided by 8 is going to give me 60. She can make 60 chicken nuggets in 1 hour. So if you wanted to type that in there too, so chicken, and just put nug in 1 hour because our unit rate is always per 1. Okay, next example. Write an equivalent unit rate to eating 4 hot dogs in 1/3 of a minute. So here's where it gets tricky because now I have some fractions. So still, or a fraction within a fraction, you guys will see in just a moment. So I want to do hot dogs per minute. So we're going to do 4 hot dogs on top, and we're going to do 1/3 of a minute on the bottom. Okay, so here we have a complex fraction. Technically, this is a fraction, 4, and then this fraction bar, but now I have a fraction underneath. Like, there's a fraction within a fraction now. So all that we're going to recall and remember, and I'm going to do some work here off in the corner, okay, is I'm going to write it as 4 divided by 1/3. That is really what's happening. This fraction bar here means division. Okay, so if we remember dividing by fractions rules from 5th and 6th grade, we're going to keep the first, change the division to multiplication, and flip my second fraction. So now I'm just going to go right across and multiply. Technically, this is a whole number over 1. And 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. So my unit rate then is 12. So this particular person can eat 12 hot dogs per minute. An airplane can cruise at 570 miles per hour. How far can it cruise in 4 hours? Okay, so this one is not it's not telling me how many miles it's going. It's technically giving my unit rate. I'm going to skip this slide just because we're not there yet. Okay, on this one, if you finish 20 math problems in 15 and at 1/5 minutes, what was your unit rate? So we're going to create a fraction. So 20 math problems. Oh, we got the pen. There we go. 20 math problems in 15 and 1/5 minutes. Okay, so here we have definitely a complex fraction going on. We have an improper fraction here on the bottom. So I'm in a mixed number that I need to change into an improper fraction. So I need to do 15 times 5, which is 75, and then add that little 1 on top. So really, this particular fraction down below should read, since we're doing unit rates with fractions, 56 over 5. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of work down here on the bottom so I can get my unit rate. Okay, so I'm going to do 20 divided by 56 over 5. I'm going to keep the first, flip or change my sign, and flip my fraction. 20 times 5 is 100 over 56. I meant 76, I'm sorry. So 100 divided by 76 is 1.31, and then there's a whole bunch of repeating numbers after that. Okay, so basically her unit rate, you can write it as a fraction. Sometimes your multiple choice answers will leave it in this form. Okay, sometimes it'll leave it as a decimal form, so 1.31, and it may ask you to round, so that would be 1.3, or round it to 1. Okay, again, with multiple choices, there's different ways and different ways that you can express your answer depending on what that particular question is asking you to round to. Okay. And that was the end of our example video, making sure that we are doing proportional relationships with complex fractions, and that on the ones that you need to, we are going to be changing improper fractions or mixed numbers to improper fractions. And then also, if you need to remember the saying that I'm sure a teacher taught you somewhere in your math career was the almost KFC, if you want to think of it that way. But it was the keep, the change, and the flip. So best of luck to you today doing proportional relationships with complex fractions.